listen, if I could get in cahoots with you and we could maybe manufacture some sort of buttered sausage, I would be willing to do that. I don't know how thick the links need to be or what the flavor needs to be, but maybe
Standard
just
size, I think. Or you know what we should do? Make them the length of a stick of butter. You know what I'm saying? That way they match up perfectly. They match up perfectly. And I can see it now. Gary Busey's buttered sausage.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that with you immediately and maybe start drawing out some sketches. I'm pretty good at drawing out sketches. I can maybe do some drawings of the buttered sausage and what they might look like in the packaging and maybe I could bring those to you and we could go from there. Listen, I ain't doing anything right now. I'm just hanging out, you know.
Folks at home, welcome back to RueTV tonight. It is damn, what night is it? I think it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday night, and we are here with someone who I've wanted to have on the show for a long time. I've wanted to have him on the show since probably spring of '86. If you guys were around or alive since in spring of '86, it was a good year. I think Flock of Seagulls was big, and yeah.
They got bigger over the years. You know, they were eaters. They became real eaters, but at that time their hair was aerodynamic and carb free, I guess. So
yeah, they still around. They still live, or are they?
I saw one of them at Target.
Seriously?
Yeah, in the floral department.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could do the entire show on Flock of Seagulls if you wish.
And I just annoyed him because I was singing "Take on Me" from Aha, and he was trying to look at the orchids. It was just, I shouldn't have done that, but
looking at the orchids and the greeting cards. But
yeah,
no, we've got one of my favorites on the show tonight. Comedy legend, former cast member of MadTV, SNL, and more importantly than those two, the mastermind behind the Jeff Richards show. We're going to talk about that, and it's damned amazing. Folks at home, we got Jeff Richards on the show tonight. Jeff, how you doing? I know you've been sick for a bit. Are you feeling better? You doing all right tonight?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Feel really good. Was sick for about a week, and I pulled through. And you get sick sometimes, and you pull through.
Yeah, that's what you do. You drink fluids, and you drink more fluids, and then a little bit more fluids after that, and then you pull through. So I guess you did that method, right? Just kept drinking the fluids.
No fluids.
None? You just deprived yourself and you just had ate sand and shit?
Rice, and I would rub sandpaper on my tongue.
So you're sort of like a cell phone. You like dip your body in a bag of rice, or you ate the rice?
I have photographs. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crazy thing is, I think.
By the way, has this interview started yet? I don't.
Oh yeah,
it feels like maybe it hasn't started yet.
I think
I'm kidding. What do you got in the background? You got one of your dogs.
Yeah,
you got back there.
Well, I have one dog on the floor right now sleeping. There's a dog back there. That's an original one from the '90s. His name is Crucker. And then how do we flip? This is hard to do. And that's Scotty. She passed away in 2016. And there's a cat, Farley. And there's a cat. Jesus Christ, I'm old now. I can't. My rotator cuff. There's Henry back there.
Don't exert yourself. Don't overexert yourself.
Oh, yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. But I may eventually need as we all age, I may need a deep fake of my own face onto my face.
Right.
Which leads me to before we got on the air, I said, well, before we get Jeff on the show, I want to finish watching what I started. Oh, I watched little snippets of it, but the Jimmy Fallon, Joe Biden deep fake Jeff Richards show episode. I was howling. I pissed off my dog, actually, the one that's on the floor right now, because she was sleeping peacefully, and I was laughing like a hyena on that was tickled and given mescaline. So my question to you,
Wait a minute,
since
was the dog given mescaline first and then tickled, or tickled then mescaline?
the
Because,
same,
well, okay,
yeah, kind of maybe roughly about the same time.
okay.
But yeah. So my question is, first of all, um, I know do you have a deep fake guy that does the technology for you,
Yes,
or do you yeah, so you have a tech guy that does that,
yeah.
or is there like an app that anybody could do that? Because I'm
No, I don't
fascinated
think
by it.
so. His name is Two Crows Thompson,
Okay.
and he's an awesome guy based out of Eugene,
Wait,
Oregon.
two crows
Yeah,
Thompson?
yeah, Native American Indian
Okay.
out of Eugene, Oregon, and
Yeah.
I don't know what he does, but he gets it done. He uses a couple different software programs, and it's not an exact thing. You can't just. I mean, there are like they're not
Yeah.
deep fakes, but there are. He has to sometimes change the jaw, like with Jimmy Fallon, and like he do the face, but then the jaw looks weird
Yeah.
because I have more of a plump face than Jimmy. Don't tell everyone.
No, I won't.
Um,
It's my secret.
but he had to put a new jaw on,
Yeah.
so you had to figure that out. And there's all these different things that kind of runs up against, but we've been through enough different scenarios that he can adapt and make things work, I guess.
Can you do that? Can you? I know you tape it, but is it possible to do that technology live? The deep fake technology live, like stream it live. Can you do
I
that?
think so. I think so. Yeah. I don't know the details of that, but I
Yeah,
know you
because
can do the face swaps and stuff, but they probably have something like that you can do. But it's kind of weird because I'm sitting here now and I'm moving the chair like this kind of, and in my mind I'm like, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that,
yeah.
because you don't want to move your face too much because it only
Okay.
does the overlay
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of taking the liberty of enjoying swiveling, but usually it's all business.
Yeah. No, I noticed that you have to stay pretty still, and it's crazy, the technology. I mean, you develop it during the pandemic. I think it was like 2020 when you started it, 2021, 2020. You're still doing it, keeping up with it today. Uh, is it man, it's like I don't know if like people. I mean, if Lorne Michaels knew this technology existed, would he utilize it, or would he say, no, we're just going to stick with throwing somebody in a makeup chair for 2 hours to look like Donald
I
Trump?
think his philosophy that I was relayed was always, less makeup, less prosthetics. They want to see
Yeah,
the people, they want to see who's doing it, who's doing it. So it has that,
yeah,
connection to the person. I a lot of times would like to not have the deep fake, but I'm kind of already going down that road and I like it and it's good. That's why I do the reveal sometimes. Every time I do like one reveal,
yeah,
um, just so people know that it's not, AI. I mean,
hmm,
it's AI, but it's not AI. It's not completely AI. It's because people think, the voices could be generated, computer generated, and all these sort of things. So, whoa.
no, you got, yeah, oh, absolutely, and you've got we initially started with guests on the show, a couple years ago, a few years ago, and now you've moved on to, I don't know if they're your friends or just people you've recruited or whatever, but impersonators who have done work prior to, who are now doing. So now you've got two deep fakes as opposed to you doing the deep fake and then this your guest or friend whether it be, Harland or who else was on the show? Bill Burr, I think once, somebody else.
Mhm.
Do you prefer one style or the other? Do you think you're going to stick with this style where it's two deep fakes, or do you?
Oh yeah, I just do those when I can.
Okay,
They take twice as long,
right, right,
so
right.
they're not always they're not always the most time effective thing, uh, but I was doing them without a fake for a bit
Hmm.
because the my past deep fake guy was kind of upped his prices to it was just crazy. So I
Yeah,
had to kind of take a break until I found a new person. And Two Crow's been great ever since. He loves it. He's really into making it a joint effort. Well, there's a lot of people involved. Gary Robinson, Andy Hogland. These are people all behind the scenes that make things happen. So,
yeah, absolutely hilarious. My personal favorite though has to be the I don't know, it was like last month or something. Gary Busey Trump. That was absolutely. If folks at home, if you haven't seen this, we'll link you in the description. I need you to check. Do me a favor, check this video out. It's goddamn, it's funny. It's I don't know who did you the person who played you always do a great Busey, but Gary Busey, but the guy that played Trump was fantastic too. I don't know who
yeah,
that was, but
John D. Domenico. Yeah, he's
okay.
awesome.
Sounds name sounds familiar for some reason.
He's one of the foremost Trump guys. He does a lot of Stern appearances. He's a big corporate act. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, so it's funny because I didn't even that one felt good, but it didn't felt like I guess when you're doing you're so in the moment, you're
Yeah.
trying to think of what you're going to say next. You're not
Yeah.
overall looking down and analyzing if it's really good. But it's like the one I did, the first Busey, well, not the first, but
Yeah.
the one with Jason Tebow, the one that with the let's talk about buttered sausage.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that one just felt like that was just because I find like it's really fun to get your buddies, and when you get your buddies, it's you get looser and it's you can't always do that, but that's what happened with that one. My old friend Jason Tebow, hilarious
Yeah.
comedian. Um, we just had fun and just went for it and just didn't think about because a lot of times if I have somebody like Dave Foley or Brad Garrett or any of these guys, like I don't want to I want to make sure they have a good time. I want to make sure they're happy and I don't want to say the wrong thing necessarily. Um, but when you have an old friend like that, you can just really go for it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
It's definitely. Has there been people who have been kind of completely fooled by it? I mean, initially, I was reading some comments in the comments section, and a couple people, I guess, were unfamiliar with the style of comedy, didn't know or didn't catch on after like 10 minutes that it was a deep fake and thought it was a real one. I think which one was that? Was that with the Joe Biden Jimmy Fallon one maybe or it might have
Mhm.
been might have been, but it's crazy. It's crazy. I sent you a message today. I wish my grandmother was alive because I could really show her and present to her uh
Mhm.
as if it were real. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can't have that. But yeah, no, you're one of my foremost. You're up there with Dana. Dana Carvey is one of the best impressionists in SNL history. Did you grow up watching in terms of like
Dana
guy
Dana Carvey.
Dan, you
Dana
oh you watch
Carvey, yeah.
Dana too, yeah.
And
I just had
and
I
Daryl.
I had Bill Cott on the show last year from the Dana Carvey from Dana's show, but so Dana was kind of like your big
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah, Dana Carvey, Jim Carrey,
Hmm.
um, Daryl Hammond,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
you know.
Daryl was on the cast when you started um in SNL in '01. I mean, I was looking at that roster of like I'm looking at it as my cousin. My cousin was looking at that cast. He's like, God damn, that's like an all-star lineup what you jumped into in 2001. Did you feel any I don't know, nerves or intimidation? Because at the time, that was one of the best lineups SNL has ever had. And to throw you in I think you started was a fall 2001, right?
Yeah, right after 9/11. Our first day was 9/11.
First
Supposed
day
to
was
be.
unbelievable.
We're gonna read commercial parodies.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot of people to learn from.
yeah.
That was really good. It was also a little harder because there weren't a lot of gaps in that show.
Hmm.
It's like being on the Yankees or something. You you get a few at bats and then you have to wait till next year. But
Yeah.
you know, but like I said, you could learn a lot. Um, and that's what we did. That's what I did. Yeah.
It just seems like to me, and this is no discredit to the cast, the current cast. I mean, you've got a lot of talented performers on the show. But I feel like there were a lot more I hate using sports terms but I'm going to use it. It seems like back then there were a lot more like superstars on the cast. So you've got a bunch of cast members now who are kind of it's kind of an even playing field in terms of their level of, I don't know, whatever it's subjective, whatever you want to say in terms of the comedy barometer. I feel like was part of your did you have frustration back then because you had so many all stars on there trying to pitch something? Was it difficult because you were the kind of newer and you had guys like Farrell and Farrell Will was still in the cast even back then in
Yeah.
'01.
My first year was his last year.
Yeah.
Um,
Was that
yeah, I think
difficult when you had,
I was so young though. It was like that thing where you don't have the same kind of fear as when you get older. Like I was 25,
holy
so I
shit,
just
yeah.
was just, but it was scary, and I had a lot of hard time with the cue cards because I'm dyslexic. So and they would
Yeah.
change the dialogue right before the
Hmm.
show on a lot
Yeah.
of sketches. So like that was the hard part.
Hmm.
I couldn't just glance over at a card and grab a line, and then I had to kind of
Yeah.
memorize it right before. And
Hmm.
that part was very stressful. That's why I loved the update, because you could just
Yeah.
look straight at the camera. The cards are right above the camera,
Wing it. Yeah.
and go and just do it. And that was made it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's interesting. You bring that up. It's one of the things. I mean, years ago, many years ago, it was something, as is for a lot of people. The dream was to be on SNL, and one of the fucking things that was holding me back was, well, if you can see what's on my face right now, I have glasses. I have this thing where I can't wear contact lenses, and I've even gone to eye doctors years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, and they've tried to stick them in my head. I don't know if it's a structure, my big ass head. You can't stick contact lenses in my head properly.
Well,
You
are they
can't.
supposed to stick them in your head? I mean,
Well,
what do you
they
mean?
jab them in. They jab them.
Are they supposed to even jab them in? I mean, what's
I
going
don't
on?
know.
Who
They
are these doctors?
ease them in with a drink or something. I don't
Okay.
know
Well,
what they
now
do.
you're talking about a nightcap.
Yeah. After post dinner. But anyway, my
Yeah.
point is one thing I always had in my head was I could never be a cast member because I'd be squinting at the cue cards because you can't wear glasses in every sketch. So
Right.
you have, if you have bad vision, you have to wear contact lenses.
Yeah,
So
probably though you'd probably just get, well, I don't know, maybe electric, or not electric, but
oh,
corrective surgery or
LASIK,
something.
LASIK. Yeah,
Yeah.
my
That
brother had that LASIK
that
surgery, right? Yeah.
that would probably be the way to go. Yeah.
Be paranoid I
But
would
yeah,
lose my vision. Do you ever
there's
have
a
what's that?
no, go ahead.
No, no,
Did I
say,
vote?
I was gonna say, did you ever have, sometimes they bring in the old hosts I don't know if Christopher Walken was a host while you were there, or anybody that was older, but did anybody ever have a hard time reading the cue cards?
Yeah, Christopher Walken, he hosted once when I was there.
Oh, I did. Okay.
I was in the Cunnilingus sketch.
Okay.
I had one line in that. Um, I don't know. The hosts always seemed to just do fine.
Yeah.
I was always kind of surprised about that in a way, even
Mhm.
though I know they treat the hosts so well and they take care of them so well, the show does, and they make it as easy on them as they can. But to be in all those sketches, to go from one to the next to the next to the next. But I suppose it's sort of like, it's that same thing too. If you haven't done it before, you don't know how scared you should be, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
That's it's interesting because I was thinking about asking you this before, but now that you brought up the word scared, um, did you ever? I can only speak for myself. I had social anxiety growing up, especially in my 20s, teens. I'm okay now, for the most part, but when you were on SNL, especially in that first year of one, did you ever feel like you wanted to vomit early on, or were you like kind of eased into it very easy with the nerves and everything? I mean, it's live TV can be pretty nerve-wracking. Coming from Mad TV, where it's a taped environment, and I know you had experience prior to. Even stand up is it's a different world, even though you're out there in front of a live crowd. How did you feel doing live TV back then?
um, I wasn't like I was in a million things, so um,
Yeah.
I could kind of really think about what I was going to. Maybe I would be in two or three or four things,
Hmm.
and maybe two of them were back to back. But I don't know. You just did it. It wasn't like
You didn't
got in
think
your
too
head
much
too.
about it.
There
Yeah.
wasn't a choice. There just didn't have the you didn't. There wasn't a choice to freak out. I
Yeah.
remember I did do Bill O'Reilly once,
Yeah.
and that was a lot of pressure because I like kind of drove the whole sketch, and
Right. Right.
and it was one thing after the other thing after the other thing after the other thing, but that was a great feeling
Yeah.
once I got through that and it went well. That was incredible. And then I did Gary Busey. That was a long sketch one time.
Yeah.
Um, but the Drunk Girls were pretty easy.
Hmm.
I mean, they weren't easy, but I did one where I think it was the Catwoman one, and I was supposed to just climb off the desk and stumble off, but I
Yeah.
thought I'm just gonna fall off the desk, and I fell pretty hard and made a big thump,
Yeah.
and the crowd kind of gasped and then laughed. And I remember coming off of there, and Lauren was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you." But and then I do remember the Super Bowl one was the Super Bowl. I did Drunk Girl. The show went live during the halftime of the
Okay.
Super Bowl. Even
Yeah.
we weren't the Super Bowl wasn't on NBC, but we did a 15-minute Super Bowl filler,
Yeah.
and that was one where I was like, a lot of people were watching that one, so that felt intense.
Yeah.
But
So there really is no time to think, but here's an interesting question that I don't think anybody's ever asked you. Maybe people have asked you this, maybe. Um, you know, if you have a bodily I mean, Lauren probably doesn't have this, but or think they exist, but if you have a bodily emergency, aka if you've got the shits, maybe you've eaten some bad catering at about, I don't know, before dress, and it's time for your sketch, and you've got an option. You can either suck it up, or, I mean, obviously they're not going to pause the
I
sh
never had
y-
anything like that.
yeah.
Um,
Has anyone ever had that? Like a host, like, oh man, I
I
got
don't think if they
drizzling. I've
did, I
got,
don't think they
yeah.
if they did, I don't think they'd tell everybody,
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a publicized thing. It's always something I'd remember. I would be wondering about, but
But I
uh,
do think I'm guessing a lot of people,
probably.
at least the men,
Yeah.
would, if they had to tinkle and they couldn't go all the way down the hall and they needed to get to the stage,
Yeah.
you tinkle in a cup. I think that's
Hmm.
pretty safe.
Or when they're,
But
yeah, during change, when they're changing into the
but
next
I
thing.
think the adrenaline is going and you're pumping
Yeah.
so much adrenaline that that's just kind of the last thing in your mind.
Would you eat dinner before a live show, or did you wait till after?
Oh, I'd eat before. I always
You
eat
eat before?
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
and
don't know.
after.
And after
Yeah.
at the
Oh yeah.
post
Yeah. And they'd
gathering.
have food. I'll always have food around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I would eat before. I think I would be too nervous. I don't know.
I can't see. The way I kind of work is I can't relax enough unless I have a little something to eat.
Yeah, settles your stomach maybe. There's
Yeah.
something in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you brought up Drunk Girl, and it's interesting because I feel like if I remember correctly, the origin of Drunk Girl was kind of inspired from doing stand up and then getting well, let's preface this by saying, or wait, we can't preface it. We just let's rewind a little bit. You started doing stand up at the store, right, in LA, Comedy Store.
Oh, I originally started in North Carolina,
Oh,
Chapel Hill.
okay.
Well,
Oh,
actually, it was
okay.
Raleigh at Charlie
Yeah.
Goodnight's. I
Gotcha.
did
Okay.
a year out there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, And then I went to the store, worked at the store, and
Yeah.
got to do, and then the improv too, and
So
then mhm.
one thing I noticed about the store is you get a lot of, it's a great place to work, of course. Um, but I'm sure with the area, you get a lot of touristy people who don't necessarily aren't true hardcore comedy fans, not necessarily saying you have to be to go see a show, but you get a lot of bridal parties, you get a lot of people in the just come to shows this just to get drunk and see a show. So the inspiration for Drunk Girl what was literally a drunk girl in the audience one night
Hmm.
at a set, right?
Hmm. Yeah, in La
Yeah.
Jolla,
That was
California. Yeah,
is that
yeah. She
yeah.
was so out of control that I had to do her to her to like I hate you, and I would go, I hate you too, and then just the
Uh,
only thing that would shut her down. And then
mhm.
for the premise of the stand up, it was that nothing stops a truly drunk girl. You just have to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And then that was that. I came up with that, I guess, about 6 months before
Yeah.
I auditioned for SNL. Yeah.
It's interesting because I know you still do stand up today. And we're coming to the point where you may have, let's see, oh 01, 2, 3, 4. 20 years ago was oh 04. So a 21-year-old today would be. So you're coming to the point now where if you're doing a stand-up set, you may actually have a literal drunk girl in the set who is oblivious to the drunk girl character, but but is actually living up to the drunk girl's name. So that's going to be weird. That's going to be weird when you're having 22, 23, 24-year-olds in the crowd acting like drunk girl, the character, and
Yeah, but
oblivious to the character.
oblivious, but really they don't have to know the character. They
Yeah.
just have to know they don't have to know my character, my
Yeah,
portrayal of
of
that,
course. Yeah, yeah, right.
but they know they're that.
Yeah.
So it it's just something that's, people get drunk and they act a certain way, and it just kind of stays cultural, and
Yeah.
you know it's always fun to play with. And you
Yeah.
have to when you do stand up, because they are a lot of times drunk, or somebody is.
You
So
do.
you
So,
have to
yeah. Yeah. You
you have to
gotta,
be on your you have to be on your feet. You have to be able to be in the moment and you know
yeah,
make it work.
kind of expect, be prepared for situations like that. It's like fielding the bad hops in baseball. You got to be prepared for them. One thing I've noticed in stand up, maybe you can attest because I for a while there I was going to a lot of open mics, but not lately, not pre since the pandemic happened. I kind of haven't been to it much. Um, and one thing that I love about your set is you still do impressions during the set. A lot of younger comics, I don't know, it's just my impression from pardon the pun. I don't see too many younger people doing impressions anymore. They want to, kind of do the more uh personal chatter uh or bits. Do you think there's a lack of comics doing impressions in 2024? Or do you not see that? Because I don't want to say it's a dying breed of
Well, in a way, it's difficult because, you know, there are more channels, there are more things to watch, there are
yeah,
more things, YouTube, there's so many things
yeah,
that not everybody knows who you're impersonating. So
right,
that's a problem. And I find that too with stand up. There's certain ones that I like, a Willem Dafoe or
yeah,
somebody. They may know him, but they don't know his name. But then they hear the voice, but they're not sure.
yeah,
Or, and if 3/4 of the audience knows the person and a quarter doesn't, that doesn't work.
right.
You don't give yourself the chance to, so I don't know. I think it's always nice to do a few. I've kind of got more into like, impressions, but then a lot of crowd work too, and then a lot of,
Yeah,
and then some character stuff, which is always the best because if you set it up, you set up a character where everybody gets it and everybody's on board. Now 100% of the audience knows this character that you just told them about. Whereas, I could tell you who, Gary Busey is, but maybe only a half of the crowd knows who Gary Busey is, and they hear the voice and they still don't know. So
yeah.
it is kind of a dicey thing to do.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. I mean, it's a generational thing too. When you have a young crowd, it's kind of you're kind of gambling if they know the reference and everything. But one of my favorites, of course, folks at home watching know what a fan I am of the great. I hate to say it, but late Louis Anderson is one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorites, and
Todd. Oh, it's so nice of you to say that. Thank you. Hi, Rue. I love this show. I really do. It's so
right.
fun. I mean, the collage in the back is a little messy, but it's fun and it has its own texture. And you're turning red. I don't know why you're embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. You're watching RueTV, for God's sakes. This is gonna probably be a clip. You ready to play that feud?
So we got, so another thing we another thing we have
Come
in
on,
yeah,
get back to
yeah.
reality. You're
C-
hosting a show. Come
compose
on.
yourself. Yeah, I can compose myself. So we both have it. We both have another thing in common, and I believe I saw this online. But we both got birthday cameos from Louis. I got one in
Hmm.
2021, right before he passed away, and man, I will cherish that forever. I love that guy.
Oh, I
He
love J. Louis Anderson. One of the first celebrities I ever met in LA. I had a VHS tape I made
yeah.
of 5 impressions, and he was one of them. I was at the
Hmm.
store. I did a set where I closed with Louis. I leave. One of his friends is there. I give him the tape, and he calls me the next day. He's like,
Yeah.
"Is this Jeff Richards?" I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "This is Louis Anderson. You ready to play the feud?" So I and he goes, "Keep doing me. Don't stop doing me. Keep doing me." And I opened for him at the Rio, and
Yeah.
I did like a little bit about him, and then afterwards, I come off stage. He goes, "You could keep going. You could make it longer. You could keep going. Keep going."
Yeah, I mean, so I had a couple years ago, I had his nephew, Josh, on the show, and this was right after he passed. Yeah, right after he passed. Um, Josh Florog. Shout out to Josh. I believe he lives in LA or San Diego or both. I think he lives in LA. And he reiterated, just what a beautiful person he was. And what a great loss that everybody suffered when Louis left us. But you know, we, God damn, I miss that guy. He was. I did you get a chance to watch Baskets when that aired? When he was,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Chip, help me get out of the bathtub. Come
yeah.
on.
See, the beauty about your impression is you can do Louis at a low pitch, kind of
Yeah.
like a normal pitch. Yeah, it's like his normal pitch. I mean, I can do him at his angry pitch, but not quite his.
Let's see it.
All right, give me a second. Let me get a drink.
By the way, my phone might die. I fucking forgot to charge it.
Oh no,
But
what time is it? What do you got? How much time you got left on it?
it doesn't say the time.
All right.
Or does it? No, doesn't say. But I can charge it and call you
What
back
time?
if you want to.
What time does your phone say now?
Uh,
It's right now,
I
Jet.
I
Oh, right.
can't even tell that unless I get rid of
Right.
the screen.
All right.
I'm not sure.
All right. Let me it's hard to compete.
We were not competing. We're just two men
Yeah.
on a street living. We're two men living on a street. Just think of it like that.
Well, I see you got that shirt there, Jeff. It's Jeff Marcy, two R's in there. That's interesting. Jeff, I love that you're on Mad TV. But who did you play on Mad TV? I think you had you played me on Mad TV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I loved it. I loved it more than Will Sasso. Sasso played it mean, but I loved when you're more friendly with it. You keep going with it. I
Keep
mean,
going. That's pretty
yeah.
good.
It's
Yeah.
the thing is with Louis is I feel like the le- and that's why yours is so genius. You have the when he would get down and low like that. I can't do that, but you
We
could
get
speak.
like, you ever do that? You ever hold
Yeah,
it down? You try to touch it, but you can't.
no, I can't do
And
that.
then you take a stick of gum.
I can
You
only
try to, you know,
no, I can't. It's impossible. I'm gonna get
Chip, turn the
Chip.
goddamn music down, Chip. Will you? God damn it!
but I can't do the low pitch. I can only do that.
Well, you don't, I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah,
You're talking about the tone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tone. Yeah, mine would be Louis on Coke, I think. So
Yeah.
it's okay. It's all right. But no, it's there is somewhere on the YouTube channel. There is I can't remember who it was with, or maybe it was just with Louis himself. You had a deep fake of Louis with Louis's
Yeah.
face. That's on there, and that's one of my favorites too. If you check that out, but for sure, that is a classic. And if you check that out, there's a bevy of different videos. If anybody at home hasn't seen them, to check those out. I'd be remiss. I know you've talked about this before, and I kind of hinted at it in the Louis impression, but you were only one of two people who have appeared on Mad TV. You and Taron Killam, right? Mad TV
Mhm.
and Mad TV and SNL. Lauren had no idea you were on I'm just guessing. I don't know if this is true, but because you were only about 4 or 5 episodes, did Lauren have any idea you were on SNL? Because I believe he had an
No.
unwritten rule that he didn't want to hire people from that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. They didn't tell him till after I auditioned.
Yeah.
And
Did
yeah,
that did,
there's
did that work to your disadvantage? I mean, did
no, it
that?
helped me. I mean, I would have probably just not even been auditioning. Like once I auditioned, he already
Yeah.
liked me.
Yeah.
And so that was easier sell.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's interesting because during the audition, you you even did some of the like you said, you did the Louis, I believe. What other impressions did you do during your
Doc-
audition?
Dr.
Kristen?
Phil, Dr.
Yeah.
Phil, Charlie Rose, David Letterman, Willy Wonka,
Hmm.
a few of those. Louis Anderson.
Can you see Lauren as you? I mean, I know this is a long time ago, but as you're doing your SNL audition, can you see him, or is he shaded by the darkness in the crowd?
They're all shaded by the darkness. There's probably like eight people out there.
Yeah.
But after I did my audition, they didn't say anything,
Hmm.
and I said, "Okay, well, see you guys later," and just kind of left. I got down and started walking away, and Lauren stopped me and said, "Good job, it was good job." And I thought, well, that's
Yeah.
something. And I
Yeah.
was happy with just having a good audition. I was just glad I didn't, get too nervous and choke or something, So, um, yeah. And then I flew back to LA, and actually I flew to San Diego. And then when I landed, I found out I got it, but I still had to go back and meet Lauren. So it wasn't a done deal.
Yeah.
So, but
One
then,
thing, yeah. I mean, that's I'd be pinching myself, but speaking of that, one thing I always wanted to ask you is, once you got the gig, did the novelty of being on that stage ever wear off, or did it not wear off?
no, it was always just amazing. It was
Yeah.
always, one
Did
time
you?
I went and just took a nap on the stage, like, well,
Mhm.
not a nap, but I just laid there
Yeah.
and just, you're really just, I was always just taking it all in. I mean, I ate a lot of Chinese food.
Hmm.
Um, I, you didn't have a lot of time to do other things, a little bit of stand up here and there in New York. But yeah, I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And of course, there were a lot of downside. There were some negatives because it's so competitive, and you're always trying to come up with ideas, which is, the longer you're on there, it seems like the harder it is. But you know, and of course, I could have worked harder, and but I was also young. I give myself that, and but I
Did you
learned
get
so much from it.
did you get burnt? Did you get burnt out towards the end? I mean,
I mean,
3 years or so.
yeah, I mean, I guess, like I said, the idea is you burn out ideas a little bit more than anything else.
Yeah.
But and I wasn't sketch after sketch after sketch, and the dyslexia and reading the cue cards, that was probably
Yeah.
the biggest.
All right, guys. So technical difficulties right there. We had some connection issues, some serious connection issues. It happens with the internet. Whether you're doing RueTV, whether you're doing deep fakes on the Jeff Richards show, whatever you're doing, you run into connection issues just like you ran into tonight. I want to thank you all at home for watching RueTV. I want to thank Jeff Richards for being on the show. I want to thank everybody for supporting RueTV, and I want everybody who supports RueTV to please support the Jeff Richards Show on YouTube, and I want you to subscribe. I should have the link in the description of this video to subscribe to Jeff's channel and follow him on Instagram. And yeah, so I apologize. Little disconnection issues. Sometimes the internet messes up. Sometimes the internet screws up. But I think we got a lot. I think we got a lot. We got a good talk out of Jeff. Jeff is still, he's healthy. He's doing well, and the disconnection was accidental. It was an accidental disconnection. I'm texting him right now. We had some issues. So
it could have been an accidental disconnection. I don't know. I can't say.
For everybody watching at home, I hope you had a good time watching. And this is what happens. This is live TV. This is what happens with this is live TV in 2024. This is what you do. You hold up. Look at this. Look at this right here. We're gonna bide the time right now. Look at this. Look at what we got right here. You hold up Matt Foley statues that had their arm amputated, and you bide the time. You bide the time with Matt Foley that needs to be dusted. Thanks, guys and girls. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, folks at home, for tuning in to RueTV tonight. I just want to say it's been a pleasure and an honor having Jeff Richards of SNL on the show. And I want to give everyone my thanks, my love, and stay tuned, because we've got a lot of good stuff coming up. A lot of really good stuff coming up. Some crazy stuff coming up. Some not so crazy stuff coming up. Some mid stuff coming up. All of it. You better watch. And share, comment, like, because if you don't, we just get eaten alive by the algorithm. That's not good. It's not good at all. No one likes to get eaten alive, right, Maui? We're going to sign off with Maui tonight. Since we lost the connection with Jeff, we're going to sign off with Maui. Come on, Maui. Come on up. Come on. We're going to sign off to the people. Sign off to the people, Maui. Come on. All right. Maui's coming on the show to sign off. Maui, she's been down here the whole time during the interview with Jeff, so. All right. Yeah, we're going to. Yeah. All right. So. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in to the first ever interview with Jeff Richards on RueTV. Thank you, Jeff, for coming on the show. Maui? I love you. I love you all. Thank you so much.